Hello. I dressed for the occasion. You know, when we were wild, it's all about taking off the man-made costumes and facades and harnesses and leashes and muzzles and just being all natural, baby, all natural. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. I want to make sure first that you can hear me and see me. So if you can type and let me know. Can you hear this? Can you see this? Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Well, more nipples, somebody said. Oh man, that's that's the grand finale, man. I can't give it all away at the start, man. I can't give it all away at the start. Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is an exciting night for me. I filmed this video actually March 2021. And, you know, we've all had those projects that kind of take on a life of their own. And my mantra is trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. Right. For me, the creative process is so much about just listening to what it wants to be, when it wants to be it, and trying to let go of control and expectations and just guide it, you know? It's a lot like parenting, I'm sure. So I've heard. Cool. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Dad? What's up, Erica? What's up, Paul? What's up, Justine? I got to say hello. Mike? Well, um, I think it's time to show the video. What do y'all think? Are we ready? Should we do this? Should we drag it out? Should we drag it out? All right. Well, I'm going to start this off with a howl. If you all want to howl with me, I can't hear you, but I'm going to just believe that you all howled. So, this is a good warm up to open yourself up to the wild. On three, we're going to howl. 1, 2, 3. You. God, feels good, right? Man, I feel like less and less of a robot by the minute. What's up, Mo? All right, well, shoot. I think this is time. I think it's time to do this. We let all the fashionably late people be fashionably late. And here we go. I hope you all enjoy. This is When We Were Wild, live from the studio. Got it. Cool.
trying to go to. Find myself leaving also. Never quite got this civilized thing, so I'm leaving. The herds are rustling, walking. Find myself listening to talking with no meaning, no meaning. When the night falls, I find that I can't sleep, that I don't wanna leave. The silence telling me who I am. When I look within, I start remembering the time when we were wild. Just wanna hold you, keep you in my pocket, keep you from getting older. Nobody looks like they're supposed to when you're true. I found a place that we all know, where the world is real and not for show, not for show. I find that I can't sleep, that I don't wanna leave. The silence telling me who I am. When I look within, I start remembering a time when we were wild.
Cool. I'll get the hang of it.
Woo! Man! What a journey. What a journey. Wow, thank y'all for tuning in. Man, it feels good. You know, as an artist, the best feeling is to bring a vision to life, right? And sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't. This certain one, I feel very, very. My soul breathes deep. You know, that's all we're trying to do is bring it from here, from up there, out into here. And sometimes I get lost in translation, but yeah. I wanted to capture the passion, you know. I wanted to capture the soul, those stank faces, you know, of all the musicians. So, free the nips. Someone's got to speak for the wild ones. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna bring on a little surprise, some surprise guests here for you. We're gonna have a little back and forth and answer any questions or comments y'all have. Please welcome my best friends in the whole world, Nate and Travis Wieland, the Wieland brothers.
It's a wild rompus over here.
Rompus!
God, that sounds so good. Man, you're a true artist, Ryan. You are. You nailed it.
You're gonna you're gonna make me just walk out the front door with the clothes I have on and disappear one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, make sure to alert me, and because I'm coming with.
All right, let's go.
Mm-hmm. We need to know though. Could you pan down a little further? I mean, how wild are we getting today? Like,
you know, an artist has to go to all lengths. It's like a method actor.
All lengths.
Right?
Okay.
You have to get into character, man. You have to get into character. So if I can't be feeling civilized while here. But you know what? Remember that? Did you guys ever play that game in middle school when you're at the movie theaters? You were with a girl. You had your hand on her leg. It was called Nervous, right? So you'd have your hand like on her. You'd start on her knee, and you'd be like, "Nervous," and she'd be like, "No." And you move up a little further. Nervous.
This sounds like a pickup line.
Nervous. You nervous? No?
I'm slightly nervous.
I am actually nervous.
I'm a little nervous.
You nervous?
Look at all that wildness. Oh, I'm not. Oh, okay. That's enough.
Shout out to Ryan's
Too
mom.
sexy.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mom?
Hey, it's nothing they haven't known about me
That's
before,
true.
man.
That's true.
I'm notorious in my family for getting naked and running around places.
Look, that's why we're friends, Ryan, because Trav and I have always been right there with you. Even when we didn't know you, we were pro nudity too. It's like it's the best way. Like you talk about like undressing to find your wild. I mean, there's a reason why you got to shed all that so that you can feel free. Just that little bit of clothing, just that little bit of clothing can make all the difference.
It's true, man. It's like it seems like such a little gesture, but psychologically, it really brings you back into feeling like an animal and feeling so freed from the typical the harness, really, the harness.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that most of us who are watching this aren't going to have a good enough reference for what that is. Like, have you ever spent an entire day like naked in the wild?
I have.
I've almost several times, but that's a really unique experience. To know what that's like is surprisingly rare.
it is kind of crazy to think though that
Mhm.
it's rare, you know, because it's so the natural way.
Yeah.
That just
And
shows
you-
you how far.
And it's
Yeah.
and if you haven't experienced it, then you really don't know.
Do you have that, like, there's that classic photo of the three of us, like,
Speaking of
nude?
which.
Do we have that? Can we pull that up?
I think
Oh,
we
no.
can. Yeah, let's see if I can dig that up.
See if you can, like, throw it up on the background.
Okay.
I know it's probably your wallpaper, so you've got it readily available.
Just point the camera
You
at
know,
your
anytime,
desktop
it's my
background.
happy place, actually. Anytime I need a good laugh.
I don't know if some of you people out there. Oh God, is that it? Oh, we've got it.
This needs some context.
Here, should I give him a little view for a second here?
Yeah, can you see the whole thing? Yeah, that's the important part of the photo. There you go. Woo! That picture that you had playing over and over again, that I'm sure a lot of people like us that showed up early got to see that photo of you naked climbing the fence. It's like you were saying it like looked like a
Blair
scary.
Witch.
It's like Bear Ass Witch project.
Bear Witch.
That's a good picture. Where was that at?
That was near Trestles, actually, and I would walk by that place, you know, for years, and it has these plants just popping out of the concrete, and this weird road that leads to nowhere, and then with a fence and all these plants that are like behind the fence, and I was just like, one day I will do something with that. So me and my cousin Brant, I don't know if he's here or not, but God bless his heart, he's always following me off onto these crazy ideas of mine. And so one day, you know, broad daylight, we had a little photo shoot out there, and I had the towel around me, you know, because it's right along the path where the surfers come on their bikes and skateboards and stuff towards Trestles.
And people zoom through there like without any warning.
So I had the towel on near the fence, and I'd be like, okay, Brandon, it's the coast clear. He'd be like, okay, go. I throw the towel in the bushes. I get up on the fence really quick and like look back, and he's like, oh, someone's coming. I grab the towel and like put it around me.
What I love about that is that it's wild on so many levels. It's like you're trying to create this thing that symbolizes the wild of like, is this fence holding the wilderness out or holding us in? And then you're also like on this crazy quest to be like, we're not picking this off of a menu. We're just going to go do this crazy thing because we want to take this crazy nude photo on a surprisingly busy like corner of a
you picked the busiest wild place that you could.
Well, you know, I know you guys feel the same, but as an artist, I'm so grateful to the art, because what it does is it frees us from the corrals, right? The grids, the tracks that we are on psychologically, as far as what we are supposed to do, how we're supposed to behave, what we can say, what we can't say, you know, how we're supposed to explore reality, really, you know. And something as little as that, well, it wasn't very little, but you know, as little as I walked
just say when
nervous, something, you know, it makes you feel like you've momentarily stepped out of the matrix and reclaimed your sovereignty, and you feel like a child again. Because when you watch a child, man, they're climbing on stuff, they're putting stuff in their mouth, they're making weird noises, they're following these squiggly paths that as an adult we slowly get programmed into just all following the same track. And art, to me, and our duty as artists, is to counterbalance the structures and the systematization of society, and to bring us back into seeing reality through different angles. And thank Goddess for that, you know.
Well, you're definitely a dedicated artist. I mean, anybody, if you guys know Ryan, you know this guy is all about it. I mean, and I hate to pull back the curtain too much, but I mean, like, how many takes, honestly, did you do of that song to get it that good? Because I know you, and I know that you will not stop until it's absolutely perfect, because you're that level of dedication.
Well, I am, and you guys are too. If you guys don't know the Whelan brothers, which who doesn't at this point, these guys are incredible musicians and true artists in their own right. Um, Check it out. They got a new album coming out and videos and all kinds of amazing things this summer. Wheel and Brothers. But yeah, this particular video we did 14 takes, and
Dang.
the band wanted to kill me by the end of it.
Oh.
And I of course still was like, I was still like, I don't know if we got it, man. I'm looking at my friend who was the videographer, and I'm just like, did we get it? He's like, we got it. Don't worry, we got it. And I'm like, the guys are standing up, packing up, and I'm like, wait, I didn't say we were done yet. And God bless their hearts, but yeah, and and
which number take? You had 1 to 14. Where did we land on the scale?
So the first half with all the vocals and
first
stuff.
half, okay, so we're in here.
Was take number 10. The second half was take number 3.
Oh, the guitar solo.
Oh, okay.
So the band only needed 3 takes. I needed 10 takes, but that's my process. It's
Is
like
that your magic number? 10 takes.
I found that around 9 or 10 to 12, I start hitting the zone. Really?
I would say like 12 is like where I feel like I peak recording.
It's funny because you realize that you get warmed up. You go back, you listen to your first takes, and you're not settled into the grooves yet.
You haven't, like we're saying, you haven't shed enough of that clothing to become that wild character.
Totally. There is an undressing and a stripping off of the things in the mind to really get you present and to be it instead of contrive it.
Yeah. You can hear that, and that take. I mean, that was a money take. You can tell you're like completely lost in the wild.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I wanted to capture. I wanted to capture soulfulness and passion, because to me, that's the kind of performances that I get moved by, is when the artists, they're not trying to perform. They're not trying to project. They're being it. They're making faces, the stank faces, and they're getting off to it for themselves, because if they're not getting off, I can't, you know what I mean? And
yeah, you got to feel it first.
Yeah, surprising themselves.
What's that line about? You got to give chills to yourself before you
give them somebody else. Yeah,
true.
Wise words.
Yeah, that makes me think of, Ryan. You have your and I'll let you say it because I'll mess it up, but you have like a phrase that is like your mission statement as Ryan Heflin. What is that mission statement?
To renew people's sense of wonder, starting always with my own.
Yeah, so exactly. Start with yourself, renew your own wonder, and then you can give it to the world.
So give the world chills, starting with your own.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Totally. I mean, you're the source. I mean, that's why I want everybody to set themselves free. I want everybody to feel joyful and empowered in what they're doing and passionate about what they're doing, because what a different world we would all be in if the source was optimal, was exuberant, was on fire. Right? Then you wouldn't be seeking as much out there consumerism.
Yeah.
You'd
I want to live in a world where no one has to listen to this song because they're already watching.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what would we do without the antagonists, the tension? Every great story has a great antagonist, and Civilization really is mine. I have to disclaim for all the people and everyone that, look, I love so much.
Well, look at what we're not naked. I mean, we are. There's a piece of civilization right here. So it it does have its purpose, you know.
I think there needs to be a balance. I think I'm like, why aren't we using all this technology to like free us from having to do things? And like, let's start with the basics. Let's all have a house. Let's all have food. Let's all have like good clean water, good clean food, and time to just like honor our bodies. Because look, modern society to me is inhospitable to the caveman body, the caveman mind, cavewoman body, cavewoman minds. Because we were on the plains, we were in a certain environment for millions of years with a lot of space, silence, stars, pure water, pure food, right? So many, if not all of our ailments in modern society are from simply being disconnected with nature. And so we need to swing the balance back into having the best of both worlds,
And
right?
that's why I remember when we were wild. Because it's so easy to forget that, it's part of, it's almost like a cult, right? Like a cult operates in solitude, or what is it? Like separating people from isolation, right? Civilization kind of does that too.
Well, I have that quote.
True.
You can't spell culture without cult.
That's true. And really what you're saying when you say nature is you're talking about yourself, your nature of who you really are. To isolate yourself from nature is to isolate yourself from yourself.
It's
to
true.
not know yourself.
That's how far gone we are. Is that there is a distinction of like, nature, and then there's like us. Oh, we're going into nature. Oh, we're going. That's why in a lot of the promo for this, I call people Homo sapiens, and I say I want to let you in on a little secret. We're all animals wearing clothes, pretending that we're not animals, and you laugh at that, but it's true. It's really mind-boggling how far down the maze we've gone to the point where we don't remember that we are nature as much as
we're like one of those we're like one of those like DreamWorks cartoons where everyone is an animal in the city.
Yeah,
like that's actually basically what we are as humans. It's not a stretch.
No, that's literally what we are. It's so funny, man.
It is hilarious when you think about it.
Well, it's great that we have people like you out there, Ryan, who can bring people home, that can because you need to have balance in your life, and it's so easy to get caught up in the rat race and to forget that you were once upon a time wild. Well, thanks for reminding us. You gave us a lot of kind words earlier, but I mean, you've been a huge inspiration for us, and you keep me sane, you keep me wild, and it's like we need more of that in this world.
Well, so I feel the same gratitude to you both, and it's beautiful that we align on that and we're passionate about that, and that we both want to give that through our music and our lives. To help people remember. And because we spend so much time down at the ocean in silence and solitude around the bonfire, or surfing, away from the masses and the madness, and we feel the most at peace there. I mean, the mind quiets, the body breathes out. And once you know that, you kind of look back at the lives we're living back there in the human zoo, and you start to question, you start to see the imbalance to where you can't ignore it. And if I feel this good, and then I go back into society and I have this like buzzing anxiety, and we all feel that to different degrees. I think I'm particularly sensitive to energies and stimulation.
Leaf blowers.
But you, Ryan, can forget that you were wild. I mean, I think that's a good thing to point out to people is that it's easy to be like, oh yeah, Ryan, you're like writing songs about being wild. You're like sitting here like naked in your office chair. Like, what do you know about like the real world and the reality of domestication? But I mean, I've seen it. It's like you struggle with it too. You have days where you forget that you're a wild animal. You get caught up in all of this.
Or where
And
you take
in
a
some
year
ways,
to
these songs
finish
are a
video.
reminder to you and to everybody like you that, hey, we need to like climb that cage wall
Together.
and get out there, you know?
Well, you know, like we were talking about starting with yourself earlier. I mean, you know, I can't write these things, sing these things, give these messages if I haven't felt, you know, the depths of despair and tension and torment and yeah, it comes from a very real place of knowing it all too well and and wanting to you know, just return.
If you're out there and you're finding this video, this live stream with Ryan Heflin, know that you're not alone. You're not the only wild animal out there. There's others. We're here. We got to unify. We got to start that wolf pack.
We do, because I think there are a lot of us. You know, you sometimes can look around at everyone and be like, the world's crazy, you know, but I think we're all kind of just, you know, in this system and going along with it because it's what we've been told and taught. And, you know, whether however conscious or not conscious we are, I feel like a lot of us are like, there's just got to be a better way. And it is so validating and gives me so much peace whenever I encounter someone else who's just like, man, I feel the most at peace in nature with less people around, and I'm like, yeah, you know.
You don't even have to be in nature to be wild too. You know, you can like, nature is a nice way to remind yourself, just like your song is a nice reminder of being wild. But like that's, I don't know, it's like you kind of start to realize that it's like a frame of mind, and you can take that with you and you can be a wild animal at the grocery store.
You can.
You know?
You can.
Don't put that muzzle on.
That's you know, that's a great distinction, because it's not just about like, oh, go camping, you know. It's like, it's bigger than that. It's free yourself from these invisible lines, these invisible constraints and harnesses, and be more expressive and more natural in your movements, natural in your rhythms, you know, of, you know, no, I'm not going to strain myself and strain my life away. My body is telling me I need to slow down. And that's being wild, right?
Freedom by weird, as you always say.
Freedom by weird. It's you know, it's the squiggly path. It's yeah, again, it's getting out of that corral, that programming, and that's not easy to see out of, because it's all around us, and there's an entrainment with the group.
There's an entropy also, because it takes effort to swim against the tide of utility and technology that pushes you situations where it's presented to you as being beneficial, that you just go along with these things and follow the paths that have been etched out. To carve your own path, or even just carve a new path with a small number of defectors, is not easy. Like, it's the harder way to go. You're having to like improvise with the things that you have to make something new, like the way that right now you're using technology as a bit of a Trojan horse.
Totally. I love that you use the word entropy, because it does take an exertion and a practice, really, right, of that continual exertion to
a normalization of the unnormal. Maybe.
What is that thing we always say? You got to be
responsibly irresponsible.
Responsibly irresponsible. Yeah.
Yep. turn the language on its head. Sometimes the language itself is even reinforcing those ideas.
Yeah, even the word wild, it's like wild should be in a lot of ways the default, but wild sounds like
crazy,
like anything but the default. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, everybody's here.
It's like
you're
alien.
wild, you're outside.
It's like alien. It has that connotation of like, oh, that's something other and out there and dangerous and weird, right? You're absolutely right. We are bound by the connotations of our language, and that's why, man, I've once said the only thing I ever want to be is a poet, and I don't mean scribbling down poems on a piece of paper, which also that, but a poet in the bigger sense of freedom by weird and life as squiggly. A poet, someone who has maintained
living poetry,
sovereignty with their language, using the power of your own creative way of saying things and giving things meaning, deeming things, just like children do, right? Because to me, one of the things that happens as we become adults is this term functional fixedness, right? It's kind of an awkward term, but we get fixated on this object does this one thing, right? So you have like a water bottle, and you're like, oh yeah, this water bottle, I know what that is. I use it to contain water and drink water. But you give that water bottle to a child, and they'll sit there for 30 minutes, and it'll become a spaceship. It'll become like a pillow. It'll become a squirt gun. It'll become a telescope. And that's the opposite of functional fixedness, right? That's maintaining yourself as the poet, using your language, your ability to deem things with meaning to free you from seeing things one-dimensionally.
And creativity is tied deeply into that.
Absolutely. That's what creativity is. It's not about painting pictures and writing songs. Those are certain modes of creativity, but at the heart of it, creativity is maintaining your infinite angles on reality.
Well, to be creative enough to be a poet, to see things a certain way, you have to be able to absorb, like, where does the wonder go? You have to be someone who can see and feel and really absorb the wonder. It starts with that.
Totally. And that wonder brings you back to seeing things as not taking them for granted, right? You're seeing them as strange and the mystery, right? Because functional fixedness is like, oh yeah, I know that's a tree. I got a word for that. I can put that label on there, and I don't have to think about it ever again.
Functional ignorance. That's what it sounds like.
If you spend time in the redwoods, sitting there for an hour, 2 hours, just like in the trees, quieting your mind, all of a sudden I don't know a tree at all. I don't know that thing over there at all. That's an infinite mystery in front of me. And everything around us is an infinite mystery. Including ourselves.
We don't know as much as we think we know. That's for sure.
And that's how words confound us, because it makes life superficial, and it keeps us from exploring the infinite mystery around us. I mean, yeah, it's again, and like society, it's a necessary utility, but as soon as you confuse the map with the territory, the menu with the food, the words with reality, well, then you're in the maze of Maya.
So there could be even like wild animals out there that are just like been there, done that, and they're bored. And this song is even for them, like, hey,
for the raccoons.
Yeah, like, there's probably a raccoon out there who's just kind of like, yeah, I've like dug around in all the trash in this neighborhood. I've seen it all. And it's like, hey, they need to be reminded too, like, see the poetry, feel the wonder, like, get out there and explore something new, like, feel alive, live the dream. All of these cliches, they're real. Like, life is, in some ways, it's like back in the day, we used to have like drug use is life abuse, like in some ways, this is life abuse that we're talking about. You know, like you're alive and you're here for a reason. Like find out what that is.
Yeah, don't stop asking questions. Don't stop following your curiosity. Don't stop taking a risk and having an adventure. And it's in the smallest of ways, right?
It's healthy, you know, it's healthy.
Do you think that there's a equivalent of this for people who live in the wild? Like if you're somebody, is that kind of what you're getting at, Nate? Like if you're somebody who who lived, 100,000 years ago, you're solidly not you're a anatomically modern human, but you're living in your natural environment. I wonder if there's still a need for
there were Ryan Heflins
right?
back there telling even people back then, like, dude, we need to be
The
wild.
shamans,
We need to stay
right?
wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
The shamans, they were using chanting and dancing around the fire and plant medicine to bring people back into the infinite possibilities. Because it's not just modern civilization. I think it's a condition, like you said, even with animals, it's like we get in a mode of identity, really. It's like, oh, I'm this and I do that, and this is how things operate, and I get into this habit and this routine. And again, a part of that is utility, a part of that is survival and safety, and sustenance. But if you extremely live in that, what's the point of surviving?
Yeah, exactly.
You're teaching an eye for poetry. You're teaching an eye for beauty to others.
Totally. And reminding us again of what we knew when we were children. Like, oh yeah, like all of this is so awesome and weird and trippy and to be explored and celebrated. And there's a period of growing up and becoming an adult where you form an identity and you create systems for survival and consistency, and stability. But I think again, you got to then come back to the child and be like, okay, I have this foundation. Why did I build this foundation again? I always say my adult is only here to set up my playground, right? All of this work, all of these systems I'm trying to put in place, I can't forget the point of that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan, for reminding us all of a time when we were wild. And it's a good jam. That's the thing. It's not just like all of this deeper stuff that we're talking about. Yeah, whatever. That's cool. But the song, dude, the song.
Oh yeah,
it's good music.
Song makes me want to just lay on the floor and stare at the ceiling and and then quietly inside of myself be like, "Fuck yeah," and howl. Yeah.
Ow. Ow. We should end this with a howl. We gotta howl this.
Okay.
Out.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. It's always so special to have my beautiful people here and just being a part of this musical journey. And this is fun too, man. I hope you all enjoyed.
This is just the beginning for Ryan Heflin.
Oh,
it's just
wait.
We're going. The rocket ship is a rumbling.
I say yes, man. I say if I get to do all this, man, let's keep it going. Well, any questions? I know we've talked a lot, but I didn't address any questions. Anybody have any questions? I mean, I'd be fine with ending it here, but wanted to make sure that we opened up the floor if anybody had anything to say. We've covered a lot of ground though, so. Freebird.
People are making song requests.
Get out of here. Who let that guy in?
Freebie.
What's up? What's up, Datum? Thanks, Paul. Well, I think it's hard to tell if there's a delay or not. But I think that's good. I think that's good, right? You guys feel good about it?
I do.
Yeah.
All
We'll
right.
continue this conversation later until 3
Yeah,
a.m.
yeah, we're gonna get wild after this. Everybody, go get wild.
Yeah. I was telling the people on Instagram that to come over here to YouTube, and then I was telling them that after that I'm going to be live streaming on OnlyFans. That this was
Jeez,
all
man.
just a ploy to get people to my OnlyFans. So that's where the after party is.
That is a wild
All right,
place.
We'll see you there.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. One last howl. 1, 2, 3.